We starting? Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for coming out. Obviously, it's a little bit blustery, but it's a good news story, and we're so happy you're able to join us. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Robin Pilkey, and I'm the current chair at the Toronto District School Board, and I am the trustee for Parkdale High Park, which obviously is just west of here. On behalf of the TDSB and my fellow trustees, welcome. We have many guests with us here this morning, so I hope you could just take a moment and help me join me in welcoming the Honourable Mitzie Hunter, Ontario Minister of Education. Maybe when I call their names, they can wave, actually. Cristina Martins, who's the Member of Provincial Parliament for Davenport. Anna Bailau, the Toronto City Councillor for Davenport. Marit Stiles, the TDSB trustee for Davenport. For those of you who don't realize it, we're in Davenport right now. We have with us Karen Petrie, the Special Advisor to the Premier on Community Hubs. And Karen, wherever you are back there, wave. Okay, there's a hand in the back. We have TDSB Director of Education, John Malloy, who should be behind me. Yes. The Honourable David Crombie, Chair of the Toronto Lands Corporation. David, I don't know where you are in the back also. We have with us Daryl Sage, the Chief Executive Officer of the Toronto Lands Corporation. Give him a chance to wave. Associate Director of Education, Carla Kisco. She did a little of this. Our Executive Superintendent, Sandy Spiropoulos. Superintendent of Education, Jane Phillips Long, and Jane is the Superintendent of Schools for this area. Principal of Bloor Collegiate, Susanna Arnott, who's standing in the front, and Vice Principal Raiko Fuentes is somewhere in the back, I think. Over here. Oh, sorry, standing on the street. She didn't even make it onto the property. It's not good. Thank you all for coming. We are all here today for two reasons. The first is that the Toronto District School Board, through the Toronto Lands Corporation, has completed the competitive bidding process for the sale of this 7.3-acre piece of surplus land where we are all now standing. After a very competitive and fair procurement process, the Toronto Lands Corporation selected a purchaser, CD Capital Development Acquisition Limited, and agreed to a purchase price. CD Capital Developments is supported by a team of urban planners, architects, and designers that has created some visionary communities and mixed-use developments internationally, in Canada, and right here in Toronto. They also have a strong record of cooperative development with the City of Toronto. The second and the most important reason that we're here this morning is that we all share a common vision about community building. And the announcement today is not simply about the sale of surplus school space. Sorry. My hands are getting cold. I imagine some of you are too. It's about much more. It's about reinvesting in schools. It's about reinvesting in our community. It is about a collaboration among the school board, the city, and the province to find creative and innovative ways to use surplus public lands. I'm very pleased local trustee Stiles, City Councillor Bailau, and MPP Martins are with us this morning. They deserve credit for working together, working with the community, and working with Minister Hunter to come up with a legacy plan to serve this community, to meet the educational needs of students for years to come. This announcement is the result of an unprecedented level of cooperation between the TDSB, the Ontario government, and the City of Toronto, who agreed to use surplus school land in a way that maximizes value and keeps supporting the community by bringing new services to its residents. Together, the school board, the city, and the province have taken the view that we can be more deliberate about what we want for our communities, and we can share our expectations with developers and engage them to help us create the kind of neighborhoods we want to live in today and in the future. I'm looking forward to hearing from our speakers and thank them for working with the TDSB to get us to this point. Just as a note for some of the media, we will take questions at the end. Please join me in welcoming MPP Martins.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Davenport for those of you who are not from this great riding. And I wanted to thank Robin for that kind introduction. And it truly is great to be here this morning at Bloor and Dufferin for this wonderful announcement. An announcement that I'm sure will make this intersection one of the liveliest areas in Davenport and in our city. When in December of 2013, a portion of the site was declared surplus, we realized quickly that unless all levels of government worked together, our community would lose an important and strategic opportunity for growth in our neighborhood. The Bloor-Dufferin site quickly became an opportunity to ensure that our community is home to an innovative urban solution. And since being elected, actually since before I was elected, I've had the pleasure to work with the community on this project to ensure that it will bring lasting benefits to our community. So I want to thank all of you who worked so tirelessly with me to help make this project a success. And I look forward to continuing with the community as this project continues. Sharing the same passion I have for community building, the Premier took the initiative regarding the creation and framework for community hubs. So I want to thank the Premier, who has made building community hubs one of our top priorities. On that note, I'm pleased today to introduce Ontario's Minister of Education, Mitzie Hunter. Minister Hunter has been a lifelong city builder and is also passionate about community building, both before her time in politics and since being elected in 2013. In her role as the Minister of Education, I've had the great opportunity and pleasure of working with her on the Bloor-Dufferin lands. Actually, this was the first project that I brought to her attention shortly after the Minister was appointed to this portfolio in June. And Minister Hunter's doors have always been open to our community's concerns, and I can't wait to continue working with her to ensure that our community continues to move forward with projects that are innovative and that we can be proud of for many years to come. So please help me welcome Minister Hunter.
Thank you, Cristina. You want to stay? Yeah, sure. Okay. Thank you so much, and good morning, everyone. Bonjour. I want to thank you, Cristina, for that kind introduction, and today we are saying yes to community. It's very exciting. Before I begin, I wish to acknowledge Toronto as a sacred gathering place for many Indigenous people of Turtle Island, and I wish to recognize the long history of First Nations and Métis people, Inuit and Métis people in Ontario, and show respect for the Mississaugas of the New Credit. I would also like to thank the representatives of the City of Toronto and the TDSB who are here with us today. Without your hard work and cooperation, we couldn't have reached this very exciting day. And I want to give special thanks to my colleague, Cristina Martins. Thank you so much. She has been a tireless advocate for community at Queen's Park and is the reason we are here today. We know that schools are hubs of our communities across Ontario. They are the places where children gather and learn and play. They are also places where members of the community come together to learn, to participate in activities, and to access services. And that is why the Ontario government has invested more than $16 billion in school infrastructure since 2003, including over 800 new schools. And the reason we're all here this morning is because our government is supporting the construction of another new school and community hub that will bring modern learning facilities and community space. Our government is providing a total of $20 million for this project. And this new school and community hub will revitalize this very busy intersection. And I can't say that without pausing to acknowledge the presence of David Crombie. And I've worked with David for more than 2 decades in various capacities, and it's a thrill to have him here joining us this morning, along with the Premier's advisor for community hubs, Karen Petrie. I want to thank you and acknowledge the work that you're doing on community hubs across this province. As you can all see, this is already a hub, right? This is a hub. This is a place where the community lives and the community thrives. The subway station is right at the corner of Bloor and Dufferin, and there is a busy shopping center only steps away. And just like so many things, this exciting redevelopment was only made possible essentially because of collaboration. The province has worked in partnership with the TDSB and the City of Toronto to secure up to 30,000 square feet of community space, including a licensed childcare centre as part of the proposed multi-use development. The province is also helping the TDSB to build a new state-of-the-art secondary school. And this new school will accommodate approximately 900 students currently at Bloor Collegiate on the site of the current Brockton School. Our government is committed to building better schools for better learning and making it easier to create community hubs across Ontario. Community hubs improve the everyday lives of Ontarians because they offer multiple services, often in highly integrated, community-focused ways and under one roof. I look forward to seeing how Bloor-Dufferin community will work together to decide which services will become part of this new community hub. Initial discussions on what this community would like to see in a hub took place at a public meeting in June. And since then, an independent facilitator has been hired by the City of Toronto and the Government of Ontario. The role of this facilitator will help the community identify interested local community-based organizations to help craft and develop a vision, governance, and the structure of the hub. Maximizing use of available school space as community resources is an important element in the creation of strong, vibrant, and sustainable communities. The Bloor-Dufferin redevelopment is another example of what we are doing to achieve a stronger Ontario by working together. And this community will benefit from it for many, many years to come. I want to thank everyone here today and thank you for your time. Merci, miigwech.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Minister, for your kind words. I'm Marit Stiles. I'm the trustee for this ward, the great riding of Davenport. A very busy corner, as you can see. I'm really glad to be here today to celebrate what we've talked about as a new legacy project for this neighborhood, a result of really unprecedented collaboration between the Toronto District School Board, the Province of Ontario, and the City of Toronto. It's also the result of a shared vision that supports the use of surplus school land in a way that will benefit local residents. And this project, let me be clear, will benefit this neighborhood in many ways. As others have mentioned, it's going to include a new modern secondary school that will accommodate approximately 900 students, maybe more, and will replace Brockton High School, becoming the new home for not only Brockton Collegiate Institute, but also Alpha 2 Senior Alternative School. This new school was possible thanks to the support of the Ontario government and approval of my colleagues, the trustees of the Toronto District School Board, and will serve the educational needs of the local community for many years to come. But the benefits to this community go beyond the schools. The Legacy Project will also include a vibrant community hub and preserve, maybe even expand, childcare spaces. As many of you know, the project goes back to 2013, when the Toronto District School Board approved the relocation of Bloor Collegiate Institute and Alpha 2 Senior Alternative School to the former site of the Brockton High School back here on Croatia Street. Following this decision, the board declared 7.3 acres of this site that were standing on surplus. 3 years later, I have to say, I am astonished at how far we have really come. It is remarkable. Since I was elected in 2014, the first thing I did, I think the first meeting I had at the school board, was to ask the staff at the TDSB and the Toronto Land Corporation whether there was any way we could approach this differently. Because like many residents of this community, and I live just a couple blocks away, I hated to see the loss of public lands, land that has served our young people, housed important services, provided space for childcare, and above all, seen countless students learn, explore, and graduate, going on to contribute great things in this city, this province, and this country. So I asked the board to instruct the Toronto Land Corporation to pause the sale of the land so that we could explore whether there was any way we could extract a community benefit here. and above all, ensure that our school community would be well served, that our students, current and future, would have a fantastic space in which to learn, but also benefit in other ways from whatever development takes place here. And if you will, a word that I've used a lot lately, a legacy of the schools that this community and this city built. So by bringing together the city, the school board, the province, with the great help of my colleagues here in Davenport at the provincial and city levels, and by bringing the community into the conversation in setting up the parameters for this discussion, we really did, I think, set a new and innovative path forward for future developments that take place like this. And I really want to take a moment to thank everybody who was involved, because during this time, we have worked together to make this project possible, and I'm very proud of what we've achieved. I want to thank our partners, the Ontario government, the City of Toronto, for your hard work, vision, and support. I really want to take a moment to thank the principal here, Susanna Arnott. Really, thank you very much, Susanna. She's within a large organization like the TDSB. It's sometimes hard to have a voice that's heard in that, and Susanna, in a very careful way, really urged us along to make sure that this would be a better development for our students. Also, Vice Principal Reiko Fuentes, who's over here. Thank you very much. And our superintendent, Jane Phillips Long. Yes, and our previous superintendent, Curtis Ennis, was very, very involved as well. I also want to acknowledge the efforts of the Toronto Land Corporation, who I think really welcomed the opportunity to do something different here. The Honourable David Crombie, and of course the CEO Daryl Sage and their team at the Toronto Land Corporation. When it came to the development of these lands, they listened to the TDSB, they listened to the city, the province, and they also listened to the community. I'm not going to get into it too much, but this was a very extensive procurement process. We're expecting a vibrant mix of residential and commercial here, hopefully some affordable housing, a community hub, childcare spaces, and a recognition of the heritage that surrounds us. I want to express my personal appreciation to Minister Hunter for her personal support for this project and her government's financial investment in the school. Thank you very much. Yes. And I want to also thank, of course, my colleagues, Cristina Martins at the provincial level, our MPP, and Anna Bailau, our city councillor, for being very involved in this project from the beginning and participating in many of the community consultations that took place here. We really appreciate it. So the city is going to be very much the focus in the next phase here. The city's going to be very involved in helping steer this, and I want to ask you to join me in welcoming our city councillor, Anna Bailau.
Thank you, Merritt. I think today we're actually celebrating more than just opening this project. What we're actually saying is that when our communities speak, we listen. When we get together, we deliver. And actually, when we talk about lands and buildings, it's not only land and building. It's about people and communities. And that's what we're delivering here today. It's about a project that is not about talking about the land. It's not about talking about the new residents that might come here, but it's actually taking care of the community that already exists here, seeing the needs that exist in this community, and how we're going to build a complete community in this place. So it is a great privilege to have been able to work with my colleagues, Cristina Martins and Merritt Stiles. We've been at this for a couple years now. The last year has been intense. But I think today we're here to celebrate what we're hoping to see, an exciting project, a legacy project for this community. This is an important site in the heart of Davenport. It's a crucial site for the City of Toronto. And that is why back a year ago, we've endorsed the concept of community hub. And I take the opportunity to thank Chris Brillinger in here that dealt with a slew of departments. We had more than 7 departments saying this is a crucial site for the City of Toronto. We want to get involved in here. We want to make sure that this is more than just development. We want to make sure there's going to be affordable housing in here, that the development is going to fit with the character of the neighborhood, that there's going to be childcare spaces in here, green spaces in here, and that heritage is going to be preserved. So I'm going to be looking forward to continue to work with this community, continue to work with my colleagues, start to work with the developer to ensure that the voices of this community continue to be heard and we truly develop a legacy project that we can all be proud of. Thank you.
So, folks, we're ready to hear now if you'd like to ask a few questions. So we should probably get Daryl here at some point.
So the question is about the process in getting services to the community hub. Yeah, go ahead. You can start.
Good morning. Just in response, and Daryl there can help me, but the process in terms of services in the community hub, the plan is to work, of course, as we've heard, with the city and the province and the engagement that's going to happen. And then from there, the discussion will move us towards those hubs, that the services that will be in the hub. But Daryl, is there anything else we need to add there? Go ahead.
So the city and the province have hired a facilitator. There's going to start, community consultations are about to start. So we're going to be focusing on the needs. We have statistics, but we're also going to be focusing on what the community is going to tell us. So in a short period of time, we're going to come back to the community with a third-party facilitator that is going to work with the province and the city to ensure that we deliver to this community what is needed and what is wanted.
What is the consultation process? What is the first consultation?
First consultation, I think we're expecting that to be in January. Yeah,
right. So so the first consultation will probably be sometime in January, and we'll make sure that the community is made aware of that particular date, the time, and the location with ample time, so that there is a lot of participation. I anticipate that it will not be just one consultation; that there'll be various. And my office, and I think I can speak for Marit and for Anna as well, always open to receive suggestions on behalf of the community as well.
How many condos? Anna?
So this is, it's going to start a rezoning process application. So we're going to have to work with the developer and see the application that is going to be coming through. I think that the important thing to note is that the Toronto Lands Corporation put out a bid that it was not only about the density, that there was a clear understanding that this community was going to expect, and the city and everybody involved, that there was the need for the community hub, that there's going to be affordable housing, green space, childcare spaces. This was made aware to the developer, and it was asked to be reflected in their proposal. So there's going to be density. Of course, there's going to be density. At this point in time, we still can't tell you what it is. There will be a rezoning and planning process that will come through this community and through City Hall. That will be very public, and people will have the opportunity to participate.
So then what percentage of the area is going to be condos and going to be parklands? What's your minimum land?
We're in a park deficiency neighborhood, so you will require the percentage that is required in any planning application. The city has demonstrated interest in actually even having maybe a little bit of a bigger park, so we are willing to come to the table and make that green space a little bit bigger. These are the conversations and negotiations that are going to start now with the developer. I just found out who the developer is. I haven't even met him, so all these conversations are about to start.
Just a couple more questions. Then how are you going to get the fly back when people see schools being sold in condos?
So I will address that, because I think that what you're seeing here today is really coming together. So you have the province working together with the city, working together with the leadership at the Toronto District School Board, which identified this as a surplus site based on the needs and the projections in this community. We're investing the $20 million to ensure that there is a new high school that will be at this location. There will be space for a community hub, as well as the childcare that's required. And at the same time, this is about revitalizing a neighborhood and a community, and working together with the city that has identified that as a priority. So, you know, we're really making the best use of the space that's available, and the Toronto District School Board will have an opportunity to reinvest those proceeds in school renewal, and this is a good news story. It's about the collaboration and the working together to strengthen our community. Done.
Yet another allegation of racism at York District School Board. This time a trustee allegedly called the black parent the N-word on Monday. On the heels of last week's unprecedented human rights complaint lodged by several multicultural organizations, when will you or your government step in to take action to protect parents and students from a board of growing allegations of systemic racism? And is the behavior acceptable to you and this government?
You know, it's very concerning to me, the issues that have been raised in the York Region District School Board, both by parents as well as students. I've expressed that concern very clearly to the leadership of the York Region District School Board, to the trustees, and my expectation is that a response will be forthcoming very early in January in terms of what are the processes that are in place to ensure that the climate in the schools within York Region is one that reflects our focus on student well-being, on equity, on inclusion. Issues of racism, Islamophobia, those are not tolerated, and it's very important that we're very clear on that. When our students come to school, we expect them to be safe, we expect them to be happy in schools, and that's the expectation that I've given to the leadership. There is a new chair in place, Laura Lee Carruthers, and I know that they take these concerns very, very seriously, and I'm looking forward to their response.
Is there another project that you're modeling this one after? Is there a comparison that can be made somewhere? Or is this a first?
Well, you know, this is a unique project, and that's why there's a facilitator that's working together, that's been supported by the city and the province, so that the vision for this community hub can be drawn from the members of this community. It's a very exciting project. I have to say, the fact that we have David Crombie here, there are many different city building and revitalizations that have happened over the years. This is about the future of this corner at Bloor and Dufferin, and it's an exciting day. And I know, just from speaking to the principal, it's an emotional day. This is a celebration for this community, and everyone is looking forward to rolling up their sleeves and starting to look at what this can be in the future.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Wonderful to see you as always.